Our ever-changing urban modern society means that green spaces that we have access to are becoming increasingly important for our mental well-being. And I believe that connecting with horticulture and nature can be an antidote for the stresses and anxieties that we face in life. There are ways to incorporate nature, gardening and spending time outdoors into your routine to bolster your physical and mental health. And I'm going to show you how. To begin with, just switching screen routines. Because for many of us, our day starts in front of the TV or the phone, and it ends there too. Routines and habits can be easily broken, and we have everything to gain from it. Now, adults spend nearly 4 hours a day on smartphones, which equates to a whopping 50 days every year. And apparently we check our smartphones every 12 minutes. Now, teenagers spend 7.5 hours per day in front of a screen, and under 12s watch TV for 2.5 hours every single day. Now, I know what you feel like. When your phone runs out of battery or you've left it at home, you feel disconnected from the rest of the world. It's those habits that we need to break. The negative effects of being constantly fixed to a screen have been studied in depth, with some very important findings. Spending too long in front of a screen can have bad effects on posture, causing chronic neck, shoulder and back pain. The blue light from the computer and smartphone use can increase sleeping issues by suppressing the sleep-promoting hormone melatonin. Looking at screens for long periods of time can lead to strained, dry eyes, blurred vision and of course headaches. The World Health Organization in Europe says that people spend approximately 90% of their time indoors. Think about it. At home, at school, at work, in cars, trains, restaurants and shops. 1 in 9 has not visited a natural space in the last 12 months outside their own garden. And kids on average spend 16 minutes per day in natural spaces. And on average, children aged between 10 and 16 now spend roughly 12 minutes a day on vigorous outdoor activity compared to over 10 hours spent relatively motionless. Getting outside is good for us in so many different ways. For a start off, being outside gives us fresh air in our lungs, which we may not have access to in our own home. Air pollutants from household cleaners, products, antiperspirants, central heating, open fires, these toxins build up and it's called sick building syndrome, and it can cause damaging effects to our health. Getting outside with access to clean air, we feel better. And time in the sun gives us access to the vital vitamin D. According to Public Health England, children over 1 and adults should have 10 milligrams of vitamin D every day. And getting outside will give you that boost. Vitamin D relates to mood, and a dose of sunshine can have a positive impact on our mood, making us feel happier. A study in the Netherlands found that low levels of vitamin D correlate with symptoms of depression. Now, even the colour green can make us feel better. Looking at nature can help your brain work better, with one study finding that we associate green with happiness, comfort, hope and peace. Triggers like birdsong have shown that it uplifts our spirits, and the sight of plants releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical for the brain. So being outside and connected to plants and nature is good for you. I'm going to take a look at 6 particular health problems and how the association of plants and nature can help. First of all, headaches. Now, they can be caused by many issues, including spending time indoors, poor air quality and stresses amongst the other triggers. Depending on the type of headache, they can be fixed using different solutions, such as staying hydrated, wearing sunglasses, avoiding glaring lights, and keeping good posture, which reduces the tension on your back, neck, and shoulders. Of course, there are painkillers, and for any serious headaches, you really ought to be talking to your doctor. But connecting with plants and outdoors can help too. Sick building syndrome consists of symptoms such as headaches, blocked runny noses, dry skin, coughing and fatigue. It's often due to working in offices or being inside spaces where there's poor ventilation, dust, fumes and bright lights. Spending time outdoors in the fresh air is a natural and effective way of preventing and getting rid of headaches. Just going for a walk or spending a few minutes outside in the fresh air allows oxygen to the brain, giving your eyes a break from the screen by going to outdoor green spaces will also help relieve tension. Inside your homes, headaches can build up again because of toxins. So a little bit of indoor gardening with plants on the windowsill, or spending a moment to get outside into your garden to dig borders or engage or pot plants will help you, taking you out of harsh environments and putting you back into nature's arms will go a long way in helping you with headaches. Another big problem that people experience is stress. And most people's experience of stress, it can sometimes be beneficial if you need it as a motivation. However, too much stress can impact on our moods and impact us physically as well as mentally. Now, it can be totally exhausting, make you angry, make you feel as if you're out of control, and everybody will experience different amounts of stress for different reasons. But it can be helpful to talk through these stresses with friends, family, of course, and helplines too. Being active decreases stress levels because physical activity produces endorphins, which helps your body to be relieved of stress and pain. And studies have found that people with access to a garden have significantly fewer stress levels compared to people who don't. This is because being outside can relieve stress, and carrying out the physical work is a method of exercise which will produce endorphins to reduce this stress level. Activities like potting up plants, sowing seeds, weeding, or other activities like that you don't really need to think while you're doing the process, you're just enjoying it, is the best because it defogs the mind and enables you to concentrate on the product and take your focus away from the pressure. My favourite thing is watering. I just find that so stress busting. The arc of the water in the sunlight glinting as it hydrates the plants, and that feeling of nurturing makes it so much better. So if you are suffering from stress, getting yourself out of the pressures that are putting the stress on you and connecting with nature with simple gardening activities goes a long way in restoring you back to your normal self. Now let's look at depression. Depression can be caused by a variety of triggers: trauma, personal problems, loss, genetics, illness, and many more. Depression can impact on people in different ways, and there are a wide variety of symptoms, from losing interest in things that you once loved to lasting feeling of unhappiness and anxiety. Apart from the medical treatments, a natural help could be talking to friends that you trust, healthy living, improved sleep, and challenging negative thoughts. But being kind to yourself, especially when you've achieved something, even if it's a small task, that credit uplifts the spirits. Getting involved with gardening can really help for those that are struggling with depression. Growing plants that need regular watering, feeding, and protection from pest illnesses themselves, and then seeing them grow, gives a feeling of accomplishment and achievement, which is a good help to those who are unhappy or demotivated. Experiencing success in the form of your indoor plant by seeing it flower every year, or propagating plants that instills positive emotions which release serotonin, which helps lift the mood. Activities such as growing roses in the garden to take cut flowers indoors. It gives an activity with a benefit at the end. Likewise, planting tubs and containers, because it's not a singular activity, but one that continues with the care of the plants that give purpose and growth and a sense of positivity. These are the type of tasks that can help people living with depression. Now, many of us have experienced loss. This is when something or somebody very important to you has gone and you need time to grieve. And there are different levels of bereavement which can go through different stages, which can leave us angry, sleepless, depression, anxiety, and of course deep sadness. You can also get feelings of deep aches and pains. But there are things that can be done to try and help you through the process, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve. For many, talking to others can help. But immersing yourself in a new focus have many benefits, and focusing in on the magic of new life through plants can work wonders. Now, many of us find planting of a tree is seen as a lasting symbol of life for something living and growing, with the memory of those who have gone. The process of growing from seeds collected from flowers that have finished blooming themselves gives a pleasurable realization about the circle of life. Poppies, lupins, sweet peas are ideal, but so are trees from acorns, conkers or birch seed. And of course, plants have the power to evoke pleasant memories, either by sight or by fragrance. They can lift our feelings of melancholia, turning sadness away and replacing it with a reminder of a happy experience. Connecting yourself to living things goes a long way to improve feelings, especially compared to using tablets, TVs or computers. Natural sounds from the garden, like birdsong, also make us appreciate the life that we can still enjoy for that moment. Anxiety, of course, that's a big one, and everybody experiences anxiety, whether it's before an exam, an interview, or even a speech. But sometimes people can suffer from extreme anxiety, which can significantly impact their daily life. Anxiety can have physical and mental impacts, including feeling restless, having trouble concentrating, nervousness, fear, not being able to sleep, and of course heart palpitations as well. Now, there are a variety of different methods recommended for dealing with anxiety, including meditation, breathing exercises, physical exercises, and cutting down on your caffeine or alcohol. You can of course get more information on anxiety from your GP, but gardening can be a great help as it provides you with a focus and encourages you outside to spend time and try to relax and distract your brain from the anxiety. Finding a spot to enjoy gardening where you're surrounded by plants makes you feel safe. By carrying out tasks such as pruning, watering, or even feeding the birds slowly relaxes you, takes your mind into a more positive place. Now, the fragrance of lavender is one of the best natural anxiety treatments because the fragrance has been shown to decrease the heart rate, stress levels, and blood pressure. So growing lavender in your garden will bring colour and calmness. Having garden benches placed in different spots to sit and marvel at the nature in your garden is brilliant. And of course, you can then move on to the next bench if your mind starts to wander back to your anxiety. Let your garden be your safe space to heal. It's a great antidote for anxiety. One big problem in this modern day living is loneliness. Now, loneliness can lead to a feeling of low self-esteem and low confidence. Now, this can end up with isolation and incredible feelings of crushing loneliness. It then becomes terribly difficult to get out and meet people, and in the long term, it can have problems like reducing cognitive skills, making it difficult to think positively, decide things, concentrate, and to break out of the negative spiral is very difficult. And of course, it could lead to depression. One of the great aspects of gardening is growing together. And it's a marvellous way to engage with others in the common pursuit of plants, sharing successes and failures with equal enthusiasm, as learning from each other is half the fun. Community gardening is a great activity, and it's perfect environment for someone who's living with loneliness, because they can engage with their own plot or section of the garden without having to immediately talk or engage with anybody else. And as their plants grow and their confidence grows, the self-doubt can be lifted, as many kind comments are given by gardeners to each other's successes as they pass on the allotment. This is just one way conversations start and friendships start too. It's a really positive way of helping people with loneliness. There are many other mental and physical well-being benefits which plants and nature can help us with, and many other different medical conditions. We must realise that in this ever-advancing world of urban living and minute-by-minute interaction with technology, a balance needs to be struck so humanity engages with the modern living and the natural world simultaneously. We know living without nature makes us feel unwell, and that living with nature heals us. We need to harmonise the balance in our life, living in brick and concrete buildings with a pure antidote of being able to walk out into the woodlands with the scent of pine in the air. Our kids sitting silently because they're on smartphones or tablets. We want to change that to hearing our children laughing with joy in the autumn sunshine, kicking fallen leaves into the air. I have a strong belief that engaging with plants and nature has a positive impact on our physical and mental well-being.